archaeologists worked in silence, their brushes and tools carefully sweeping away centuries of ash and debris. In the heart of Pompeii's Regio 9, a new discovery had stunned the excavation team. Buried beneath layers of volcanic material, the remains of several individuals had been found, victims frozen in time by the catastrophic eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. But what truly set these remains apart was the presence of their treasures, still intact, still gleaming as if untouched by time. Among the skeletal remains, a collection of jewelry lay scattered, delicate gold bracelets twisted around bones, rings still clinging to the fingers that once wore them. A finely crafted necklace, its gemstones dulled by ash but still reflecting light, rested beside one of the figures. Nearby, a wooden chest had been partially preserved, its metal hinges rusted but its contents miraculously undisturbed. Inside, silver coins were stacked neatly, a small fortune that the owner had desperately tried to save. The scene told a tragic story. These were people who had tried to flee, their most valuable possessions clutched in their hands or hidden within their garments. The weight of their treasures had not saved them. It had instead been buried with them, a testament to the final moments of their lives. One of the victims, possibly a woman based on the jewelry, had been carrying a delicate bronze mirror. Its surface was blackened, but when a researcher carefully wiped away the dust, faint traces of an engraved design appeared. A glimpse of beauty that had survived a city's destruction. Another figure had a small key tied to a chain around their neck, a symbol of ownership, of a home that had long since crumbled. As the sun cast its golden glow over the ruins, the archaeologists documented their findings, ensuring that every piece, every artifact, was recorded. These were not just relics. They were echoes of lives lost in an instant, reminders of a civilization that had thrived before nature's wrath consumed it. Regio 9, once a bustling district of Pompeii, had revealed another layer of its past. The victims, though long gone, had left behind traces of their existence. Fragments of a world frozen in tragedy yet preserved in time. The discovery sent waves of excitement and sorrow through the excavation team. Each object, each carefully unearthed artifact, painted a clearer picture of the final moments of Pompeii's doomed residents. It was as if time itself had paused in that moment of desperation, allowing these belongings to remain untouched beneath the layers of ash. Further analysis of the site revealed more clues. A ceramic amphora lay overturned, its contents long since turned to dust, but markings on its surface indicated it had once held precious oils or wine. The remnants of a wooden staff, likely carried by one of the victims, hinted at the possibility of an elder among them, someone who had perhaps struggled to escape. Archaeologists carefully brushed away the hardened volcanic material, exposing more of the figures. Their postures suggested panic. One body lay curled inward, shielding a small pouch filled with coins, while another appeared to have fallen mid-stride. Their efforts to flee had been in vain, but their possessions had remained, untouched by looters or decay. One of the most striking discoveries was a signet ring bearing an intricate design, possibly the mark of a noble family or a merchant's seal. Such a piece suggested the victim had been someone of status, someone whose wealth had been meaningless in the face of catastrophe. The realization added another layer of tragedy. The rich and the poor had perished alike, their treasures offering no salvation from the fury of Vesuvius. As the team continued their work, forensic experts stepped in to study the remains. Advanced imaging techniques would allow researchers to determine the ages, diets, and even possible causes of death for these individuals. Every fragment, every object would contribute to the greater understanding of Pompeii's last days. The site itself, once a lively marketplace or residential quarter, now stood as a solemn reminder of the past. The narrow streets that once echoed with voices were now silent, and the grand villas, once filled with laughter and music, had become ruins. But in the midst of destruction, there was preservation. News of the discovery spread quickly, drawing historians, scientists, and the curious from around the world. These new finds added to the ever-growing narrative of Pompeii, a city forever frozen in time. The victims of Regio 9, once ordinary citizens, had now become part of history, silent witnesses to one of the most devastating natural disasters of the ancient world. As the excavation progressed, each unearthed detail deepened the emotional weight of the discovery. The archaeologists handled the artifacts with reverence, aware that these items were once cherished possessions, carried by people who had hoped to outrun the disaster. Every ring, coin, and personal belonging told a story of survival, of desperation, and ultimately of fate. Among the remains, the discovery of a child's small footprints hardened in volcanic ash left many in silent reflection. The impressions led only a few steps forward before abruptly stopping, a haunting reminder of lives cut short. Nearby, a charred wooden toy, possibly a favorite of the child, was found beneath a collapsed roof. Despite the passage of time, its delicate carvings were still visible, offering a rare glimpse into the everyday joys of a life that had vanished. In another part of the site, researchers uncovered a half-burned parchment, fragile and barely legible, preserved by the very ash that had consumed the city. Although much of the writing had been lost to time, a few Latin words hinted at financial records or possibly a personal letter never sent. If restored, it could provide new insights into the daily commerce or intimate thoughts of Pompeii's residents before the catastrophe. As the team pieced together the past, questions lingered about the identities of those who perished in Regio 9. Could they have been merchants, servants, or members of a noble family? Did they hesitate before running, believing the eruption would soon pass? Their treasures, now historical artifacts, suggested that they had chosen wealth over speed, hoping to secure their future even in the face of disaster. Beyond the ruins, the modern world continued to marvel at Pompeii's enduring legacy. Visitors from across the globe walked through the ancient streets, pausing to view plaster casts of past victims, their final expressions frozen in agony. And now, with the new discoveries, the stories of those from Regio 9 would join the many others preserved in the ash-covered city. The sun dipped lower on the horizon as the excavation site was carefully covered for the night. Tomorrow, more layers of history would be uncovered, more secrets of Pompeii revealed. But for now, the archaeologists stood in quiet reflection, humbled by the resilience of the past and the eternal echoes of a city lost in time.